So I have a question. Have you ever asked yourself, how do I even begin to explain what's going on to my kids? So it's one of the most challenging questions that I think every trauma mama faces, honestly. The decision about what to say, how do you tell them, how can you speak the truth and teach them to be able to see abusive tactics for themselves, but without poisoning them against anyone else who may be people that they still have to be around. Like, how do you do this? What do you do when your children need truth about a situation that has turned their world upside down, whether it's from your church or a friendship thing or a school bullying situation or a dangerous extended relative, or you've had to cut off contact with somebody in your immediate family, something has turned your life upside down. It especially for trauma mamas who are dealing with situations like escaping abuse, escaping domestic violence. See, the thing is, we have this idea that the kids don't know. I mean, I see it all the time where it's like, oh, well, you gotta stay together for the children's sake. But what if the safest thing is to leave for the children's sake? Because honestly, your kids know they are living in the same abusive, unsafe environment that you are. If you're being abused, they're picking up on it. They're either learning how to be an abuser or they're learning how to let other people abuse them. There's no two ways about it. Kids are smart. Kids are perceptive. Kids experience abuse too. So what do? What do you tell them? How do you speak the truth? Well, without getting yourself in even hotter water. It can be agonizing. It can be confusing. It can be incredibly and completely devastating because you're not just, if you're a trauma mama, you're not just experiencing the need to figure out how to talk to your children about things that have completely upended your life or that have heavily impacted your life. You're also needing to figure out how to deal with it yourself. You're trying to heal, you're trying to help them heal, and you're trying to parent them through the fog, trying to figure out what you need to do for your own healing and just survive and keep it all together. And oh my goodness, I see a bunch of hearts flying across the screen with reactions. I'm guessing this resonates with somebody. So when you have to figure out some way to communicate about it in an age-appropriate way, for starters, you always tell the truth. You don't have to tell the whole truth. And sometimes the truth, well, when I say you don't have to tell the whole truth, I mean you don't need to burden them with inappropriate adult details, especially if they're little. Sometimes telling them the truth is, I can't tell you till you're 18. That's the truth. There's stuff going on that is hurtful and devastating, and when you're an adult, I can talk to you about it. Sometimes telling them the truth is, sweetie, I love you. I will always be here for you to the very best of my ability. And if you have questions, I will answer them. And if I can't answer your questions, here's a special journal. I will write down your questions and I will keep track of your questions. And when you're an adult, we can go back over these questions. Or when you're older and I'm free to answer them, we can go back over these questions. And if there's any that you haven't got answers to yet, I will answer them to the very best of my ability. Sometimes telling your kids the truth includes saying, honey, there are really bad things that sometimes happen to really good people in the world. And I know that you are hurting right now. You know what? I am hurting too right now. And I am devastated that we are having to go through this. So I promise that I will help find good healing tools. I'll promise I will find a talking doctor that we can go to where you can have someone who can help you figure out the reasons why you're hurting and how to help feel better. Sometimes that's all the truth you can tell a child. Other times you can sit, I was just having a conversation with one mama recently, and she was like, how do I deal with teaching my kids the principles of abuse and what abuse looks like, and I'm doing it in a completely third-party, non-identifiable way. I'm not pointing the finger at anyone. I'm just saying, if someone does this, that's manipulation. If someone does something in front of you and says they didn't do it, that's gaslighting. Just giving them tools, like teaching them the real words for things. And when they say things like, "Oh, you mean like daddy?" You're like, didn't say that. Didn't say that. So in those kind of situations, when you have super perceptive kids and you're teaching them principles about abuse, you can tell them that you're not talking about, you can just answer, I'm not talking about any specific person. I'm just trying to help you have the tools to be a safe kid and then be a safe adult. And you can absolutely refuse to answer the question and name anyone when you're not free to talk about the other parent. But if you teach children the principles and the concepts of how to recognize abuse and abusive tactics and entitlement and manipulation and isolation and deflection, all of these things, if you teach kids this, they will begin to be able to recognize it on their own, and they will start to come to terms with things without you throwing any other person under the bus. Flip side, as soon as you start teaching your kids these things, they are going to hold you intensely accountable to not acting in abusive ways. So it's a great accountability for you to practice what you preach. Just say it. They will definitely hold your feet to the fire if you start deflecting or you start manipulating. And sometimes, you know what? That's good for us because it keeps us on the straight and narrow, and it helps us learn and cultivate and practice the very important art of humility and being able to say, you know what, kiddo, you're right. I was out of line. Let me restart that over again, and let's practice doing it better. And that's perfectly okay. So, I got something to tell you about. First, I wanted to give you those extra practical tools because they are so important to learn. But now I want to tell you about something new that we have. It's been in the hopper for months and we've been working on it forever. And that is the TraumaMAMAs mobile app. So this whole topic of how to talk to our kids about what is going on and how to do it well, we dive into that as one of our whole toolkit topics in the app. We spend a whole toolkit just on this topic. Let me tell you what is in this app. So we've packed the TraumaMAMAs free mobile app with free crisis tools, with hotlines and helplines contact for over 200 global communities and regions. Different countries and territories. We've got quizzes, we've got checklists, we've got support group links, all in the TraumaMAMAs app. And it's available on the Google Play Store and the App Store. Boom! And it's a free download. And as long as you just create an account in the app, don't just download it, but actually log in, you will get access to all the free content. Boom! It's yours. Right there for the taking. This is something you need to tell every single person you know about, including your counselor, your therapist, your attorney, your kid's school, your pediatrician, your local news, you name it, you need to tell everybody about this app. Why? Because everyone we know needs to be able to have access to hotlines, helplines, quizzes, checklists, and free crisis resources just in case they or anyone else they know needs it. Bingo. Now, that's not all though, because on top of all of that, in the app, no longer you got to go to a website, go to a browser, sit down at your laptop. Inside the app, we've added a membership plan with weekly resource links, community support, chatting, you name it, inside the community app. We've also added a monthly membership. Just like there are so many others who have support group memberships and so on, we have been working on this for months. All of our support groups are free. We do not ask anyone to pay for any wild support groups, but we now have a monthly membership that is coming. It will be opening, and I will tell you about it in a few days, this weekend. It's going live on the Facebook page. But right now, you can download the app anytime. But in that membership, the Toolkits membership, you get weekly resource links, you get monthly trauma toolkits. That includes cutting edge recovery tools, really gentle trauma recovery for those instinctual trauma responses, trauma education to help you understand what's going on in your brain and in your kids' brains, including when you're triggering each other. We have kids tips and tools and activities for anxiety management and trauma recovery for kids. Can you believe that? My ITR trauma recovery coach is amazing, amazing. And those kids tools are presented by kids for kids, right? We have interviews with amazing experts with like Dr. Evan Stark and Dr. Dan Allender and Kathy Lorzell, and I mean, just so many incredible world-renowned experts in trauma, in coercive control, in safety and security. We have law enforcement trainers that talk about when to report domestic violence, like criminal forensics and justice educators. Amazing collection. You can't get it anywhere else. And on top of that, we have printables and prompts and activities and soothing things and cozy things and special gifts and bonuses and surprises and free workshops and extra courses and all of that community. The whole thing is in the app, right in your hand. So first step is just go download the app. You can, I will drop the link in the comments underneath, and it's just traumamamas.app/get. Or, and does this include help for adult children? Yes, it would include help for adult children too, for sure. And you can get it on Apple or Android. So it's traumamamas.app/iOS for Apple, traumamamas.app/Android for your Google Play Store. And it's like I said, free download. You can get it anywhere in the world. And once you're in, you will get the invitation to go ahead and enroll and get other things as soon as those open up. But right now, just get the app. Get the app, poke around, find all the cool free stuff, see what's there, and tell a friend. Anyway, so that's my personal excitement for the day. I could not wait any longer to share it with you. I'm so excited. Definitely pass this on. Click like at the bottom or heart it, love it, and please hit share. Share this video with somebody else, because there is somebody in your mom's group, in your church, in your neighborhood, in your school group, in your PTA group, in your community, in your workplace that needs this app. Maybe not you, maybe somebody else, maybe you are the one to tell them about it. Go do it. And drop me a comment underneath and tell me what you think as soon as you're in. I can't wait to see you on the app.